it still does that. Like every one of them will start up except for YouTube. So.
Okay.
Well, at least people on YouTube didn't hear you talk that nasty smack. It was a Canadian company that heard you. They're probably cheering you on.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Let me see what's
I hope
happening.
in that case, I hope the Canadian company got good GDPR policies.
Alright, yeah, there it is. It finally came on. Live stream should be on now for Odyssey too. Yeah, there we go. And live stream for Tech Talk. Oh, there we go. It's going. Alright, everything. Oh, I better check the audio too. Oh wow, I need to turn that off. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Your live caption is coming through on the stream.
Cool. Cool. Also, I like I said earlier, I fixed that. I done a script and fixed that thing where my issue with my USB audio sync thing, where I would still disappear for a couple of seconds. And that should be fixed now.
Okay. Let me double check and see what's going on here.
At least until the next update anyway.
Okay. Think I'm having some audio issues of my own. System. The heck? Am I muted on Skype or something? No?
It could be because you're using monitor to monitor audio rather than just straight up audio, because I notice you're cutting in and out every time you go quiet.
I'm not even picking you up in the video. That's the weird part.
Oh.
It's like everything is silent. Maybe I need to hit refresh. I don't know. That is pretty messed up. Let me get back into the audio. Oh, wow.
It might be better if you don't use the monitor mode on your mic and use the straight through audio.
That is pretty messed up. Okay. No, it's coming through. What it was is my output device. Get back into the audio. I had to put it on speakers again. That is strange. Oh, wow. The only thing I'm having issues with is like freaking keeps
bringing. It might be better if you don't use the monitor mode on your mic and the straight through audio.
That is okay. I tested Vive or Odyssey's audio's coming through now.
Okay.
So let me see what's going on here.
That
is okay. I tested Vive or Rumble is coming through. Alright, yeah, there it is. Rumble is coming through and YouTube is there, so we're good. Alright, yeah, there it is. Rumble is coming through. mute it before it all starts looping.
Hmm.
There we go. So everything should be set up and good to go. Let's see if Tan's gonna come in. He showed up in the thing. I don't know if he's gonna show up on the stream though.
Yeah, I noticed he's popped up, going to join us.
Okay. Okay. I'll tell everybody we are set up and ready to go. Okay. Let me see. No, actually, hold on. Somebody sent a message. General Tate reacted to your message. Oh yeah, I asked co-pilot, did Adolf Hitler have homosexual tendencies?
Yeah, I did see that come up in my notifications.
But freaking nobody likes hearing the truth. It drives them nuts.
Actually, he was never. No, he was
They
completely straight.
Yeah, they're trying to make it out like that. I don't believe it. They're like, it's been very controversial. There's absolutely no proof backing it up. And then, like I asked him if freaking Greeks have small wieners. They didn't want to answer that one, so.
Okay. Do you know any Greeks? Do I know any Greeks?
I used to know a Greek dude. Well, actually, he was actually what do they call him? Not Greek, Sicilian. So.
Okay. So Italy, yeah, technically.
I knew it was Sicilian, but I didn't. I don't think I've known any Greeks.
No, I'm just trying to think if I. No, I don't think so.
Oh, I see what it was. Yeah. So we are set up and ready to go. Yeah. Tan's not on at the moment. Give it a little while. I'm gonna run and grab a real quick smoke, and then we'll get going.
Fair enough.
We can do this on our own. We don't need you, Tan. We don't need you.
Love you, really.
I thought he'd have been showing up early, to be honest with it, because we were gonna go back over artificial intelligence and stuff. I know he got excited about that. He loves that conversation.
He wants to challenge me on a few points.
Well, I could bring up the religion aspect of it, but I don't want frickin' it to go downhill like it did with Mr. Robot. You know?
Religion and artificial intelligence.
That's what it started over.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of nervous the last time we did it because we started talking about the personhood and stuff like that. And right after you start talking about personhood, you start talking about God, and the next thing you know, you start talking about frickin' COVID and shit.
I was listening to a interesting YouTube thing the other day about emotional intelligence and AI. I was sort of listening to it. It was just, from what I gathered, it was very weird and wonderful discussion.
Oh, Tan's typing. He must have been hearing us. He heard us. He's like, don't y'all start talking about no AI until I get there. If he was an American, that's how he'd say it. But since he's Canadian, I know he wouldn't actually say it like that. Like Canadians would never.
I know that Texas today tried to list of my mind, but we would be spending the last 3 hours talking about TikTok.
Yeah, I know. He made a couple comments, didn't he?
No, actually, no, it was just me and Bob Dub.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, Bob Dub said she'd listen in and stuff, so.
Okay.
No.
Okay, she's not going to join us.
She'll probably ask questions and stuff. Let me go grab me another cigarette and I'll be right back. I got the coffee made, so it's good to go.
Cool.
And we'll set it up. Maybe send them a message and let them know that we're all set up and ready to go. I'm gonna go grab a cigarette and we'll be good to go.
Yeah. Oh, blebs. Talking points. Not the usual stuff. background comments on there. I think. System administrator, please be unfair.
Okay, I'm back. Alright, I am back. I guess
Cool.
we can get this started and everything. It's been 15 minutes since the stream started.
Tan said he'd be joining us in a second or so.
Oh, okay.
I was just looking at your reply to It's Foss, the It's Foss post that you replied to 6 hours ago. The Linux is horrible.
Oh, yeah. I told him the same thing I've said to you guys. It was such a great relief whenever I finally had frickin' Windows downloaded and all the great things I can do on Windows. It's just, it's amazing how beautiful Windows is compared to frickin' Linux. Especially...
You've been trying to use setup. I noticed you said you enjoyed playing games on Steam. And funnily enough, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 games that I bought through Steam and playing fine on my Linux-based workstation.
Poor guy. Just 4?
When I get to play on others.
Just 4 games? It's just sad.
Yeah, well again, I don't just chance. I've got actually I've got 2 Windows games running through one, and 4 games through Steam, and another few point-and-click adventure games.
Do me a favor. Anybody under the age of 40, don't brag about that, okay? If you're talking to them, don't brag about having 4 or 5 games on Linux from Steam. That's not something. It's not something to be proud of.
And I am a big fan of. I've always been a big fan of the point-and-click adventure games, and I've got quite a large library running through the Scum 3N framework.
They're the only ones that Steam will frickin' put on Linux. The rest of them, frickin', you have to have a Windows computer that you can link up to and play through that Windows game in order to play Linux on Linux.
Well, I've got on Steam, I've got Deus Ex Mankind Divided. That's the last Deus Ex game released. Something called Doom for Chapters, which is a sort of point-and-click adventure, and X-Rebirth and X4 Foundations, which are sandbox sort of and space ship simulator type things, management sort of things.
Mm-hmm. This is coming from the same guy that thinks they need to bring back Commodores.
Bring back the 8-bits computers, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a big retro scene out there.
But you know I play retro games, right? If you ever want to play a retro game with me, let me know. We can do it. Like,
Yeah, but are we talking about 8-bit retro games? Are we talking
yeah,
about games from the Commodore and BBC and Spectrum Sinclair?
dude.
Sort of,
The first
yeah.
first program I ever saw was the first Naked Lady. You remember the Naked Lady? The dancing Naked Lady? It was the first animation that was ever freaking put out on the computers. It was all code of a freaking woman dancing, and you had to freaking have it. You could print it out on a printer,
Okay.
and it just dots of a freaking like a. It was just like a image that looked like a woman, and she was dancing.
Oh, what was it? There was a very, what would now be considered, it's an extremely racist and sexual or, thing about, what was it? Who was the Union Army leader that fought in Little Big Horn?
Oh, Grant. Oh no
Not
no no! You're talking
Grant.
about the one that got his.
Oh,
He got scalped.
yeah.
Um. Oh my goodness. You just threw me off. Now you're wanting me to talk about history. Oh my
Anyway,
god.
there was an old 8-bit game dating back to, I think, 1983, 84,
Uh-huh.
where it's sort of, you played as this character wanting to, in effect, shag a Indian, Native American.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was one of the earliest sort of
Have you ever heard of the Haunted
things.
Casino?
No.
Cult classic right there, buddy.
Uh,
You won't find it on the internet, but it existed. It was called the Haunted Casino. It was back in when computers first came out. It was like an adult video game.
okay.
It's so hush hush that freaking Odyssey freaking even has it against their terms of services. They,
What a specific game.
yeah, for any game like
Okay.
that. There's also a game that they came out with. It was actually on the consoles where freaking you had to answer questions, and if you answered them right, little Japanese girls would freaking undress.
Okay.
I forgot the name of it, but it's really weird. It was like this would have been like back when we were freaking in our teens. I never even knew about it, but they were doing that shit in Japan.
Well, the Japanese can be a bit weird when it comes to these sorts of things. As a nation. Mind you, my sort of early experience, one thing that drove me into point of correct adventures is originally playing things like text-based adventures, where you would type in go, no, pick up, step, open door, and things like Colossus Caves and Melbourne Houses version of The Hobbit. It was one of the first, yeah, again, we're talking about 83, well, when it comes to the Melbourne Houses version, it was about 83, 84. Colossus Caves dates back to the late 70s.
You talking about the freaking Lord of the Rings, or not Lord of the Rings? Yeah, Lord of the Rings.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. I think that's cool. That kind of stuff is that's the kind of stuff I like to freaking talk about whenever it comes to games and stuff. I love getting into all that. Like, there's a lot of history in games that people aren't even aware of.
Indeed. I mean, we could have a long conversation about the 1982 computer game industry's bust.
Well, I just found out a cool story too. You remember the game 1942?
Wasn't that a flight simulator?
It was one of the first flying games for airplanes, and it was actually one of the first successful games that Capcom had.
Okay.
And it was supposed to be modeled first off of Japanese fighters, but the Japanese were smart enough to figure out, hold on, since Japan lost that war, instead of it being Japanese fighters, make it American fighters fighting against the Japanese. So they kind of did the whole twist on it. And after they did it, they didn't expect it to be a success because they launched it in Japan, and the Japanese actually freaking made it a success before it even made it to the United States. It's pretty interesting stuff.
One of the earliest sort of I won't call it a flight simulator. A flight simulator I can remember is a version of the Dambusters, where you'd be either acting as a bomb loader or a pilot or a gunner on a B-52, I think.
Oh, looky there. There's that sophisticated guy right there.
Howdy.
He's the one that keeps us in order.
Mark's the guy that keeps us in order.
No, he just tells us.
Mark's the guy that keeps you and me in order.
He tells us the rules and regulations.
That's right.
It's like terms of service, yeah. I always say terms of agreement and shit like that, like it's a romance novel or something. Terms of service, terms of endearment. And
yeah, that's what you were thinking of.
Yeah.
Not terms of service. That's a prenup agreement.
Oh my goodness.
How's everybody doing?
I've been doing all right.
Apart from having all this stressful stuff of Nextcloud Untamed servers and stuff.
I really should have been.
That's your side gig, though, right, Mark? Busy with your main jobs, main duty.
I'm busy with 50 meetings and stuff at the moment.
I really should have been recording all that too. It was kind of fun.
Oh yeah, recording. Did you start recording? You should start recording.
Well, I mean, not. We're streaming right now, but I'm not recording.
Okay.
I'm talking about whenever he was trying to get his NetCloud started. I think I should have done that. Because
you were in that. Okay, right. You guys were testing together.
Yeah.
What was the problem?
I implemented a tenant server in it to stop the Nexus. I've been using I implemented something called Colturn yesterday, which is a turn/stern server. It was working perfectly yesterday. I spent something like 12 odd hours on this thing yesterday.
Let me hit record. Let me hit record.
Yeah, it's just.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Now, hello everybody, and welcome back to Tech Talk. Today we are back with Tanhai Tran and Mark Edworthy, as well as myself, Roger Hansen. Today we are going to continue where we left off the last time with artificial intelligence, but first we have some interesting news from Mark about his cool server that we were just talking about while we were streaming, but I want to get it on recording. So if you could, Mark, kind of start over about about what you were talking about there.
Okay. I've implemented a terms stock span survey, which in effect allows much more this, with RTC, so voice over IP or video over IP services to be much more stable. I spent something like 12 hours on this yesterday, and by the time I finished, something like 6 o'clock this morning. This morning, it was running fine. And then I wanted to run a few tests by Roger earlier, and it all just crumbled. But literally, yeah.
How did it crumble?
It was mainly audio issues. For some reason, I couldn't access the term server from my own workstation, so I couldn't remotely access it. Nextcloud has got this weird thing where Nextcloud Talk has got this weird thing which it will not show any diagnostic information. It will just show a little tick if it works, and then comes up with a weird squiggly line saying that there is an issue. It was started to show a tick, and then it reverted to a squiggly line sort of thing. Going through a load of log files. It's a work in progress. Let's just say that.
No, we were talking earlier too, and when you were talking about Skype as well, that could be an issue too, because I was having the same issues with Skype whenever we were doing Jitsi. Everything would be fine with us with Jitsi, you know what I mean? But the moment I freaking got on Skype to go on Jaffe's show, I would get off of there and everything in my audio would just be screwed up.
No, this is more server-based issues rather than client-based.
I don't know. Whenever we were talking earlier, that's what stood out to me, because and it was like you even said like you had it fine earlier today, but I mean the next thing we did is got on Skype. Wait, no, actually we were on yours first before we even got on Skype.
Yeah, good. Oh, so but again, no audio was coming through.
Yeah.
When again, I've got to go through a load of log files. I've got to. I've just got to review the entire issue.
I'm so glad that's you. I really am.
I'm not.
I hate audio with a passion. I really do. I hate audio worse than anything else.
So just for your audience, Roger and Mark, this Nextcloud thing, because when I was installing Ubuntu 2004 on one of my boxes, Nextcloud was one of the installation options. So what is it? Basically?
Nextcloud is I suppose you would call it most people call it a cloud server. So at a basic basis, it's a file sharing, file storage framework, but it can be expanded to a level groupware access, so things like calendars, address books, and think of Google services where you can store your Canada, you can store your address books on Google. You can store your files on Google Drive. You can access your, you can actually create Office documents, so spreadsheets, word processing, presentation from Google. Nextcloud is a open source alternative to that, which you can self-host or use a third-party host.
Now, can you apply code to it?
Yes, it's totally open source. Everything's modular, so you can create new modules for it. Yeah, it's extremely flexible.
Cool.
I mean, I've incorporated something called Office, which is a software as a service or like cloud version of LibreOpenOffice. So rather than having a word processor on your desktop like Google Docs, you can actually access a word processor from any machine just via browser.
You know you can get OpenOffice for free, right?
Yes, but you might be in a situation where you're using a third-party machine. You might want to, let's say, have a presentation or even share your documents with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I want to share my documents with you, and I want you to open up my documents like how you would do with Google's Docs with Google Drive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can, rather than having any sort of client-based software, so LibreOffice, OpenOffice, you can access it all from a software as a service, platform as a service, cloud. Well, people do that, full cloud.
No, we've already covered this in a previous episode. We don't need to go over the cloud thing again. You rebel.
But yeah, which is good for collaboration, which is good for, let's say you are using multiple machines. I might be using a workstation here, I might be using a workstation elsewhere, and another workstation at the client's place. So yeah, I don't have to rely on what software is based upon those machines. As long as those machines got a browser on it, and I've got the login information, the password and username.
Now, do they have a limit? Do they have a limit on file sizes?
That's up to the system administrator. That's up to the person who deploys the Nextcloud frameworks.
Cool. So
as I got my own hosting, that's be up to me to provide these limits.
That's kind of where the question was aimed at. You know what I mean? It's you being the owner. Do you have limitations on file sizes?
I do. Depends on the situation. In Nextcloud, as an example, I think I've got a limitation. Across the board limitation of something like 8 gigs that I've imposed. But for each individual user, I can say provide a maximum of 8 gigs, or I can say provide X amount of space for them.
Okay, yeah. But that right there is what I always look for too, is like, because like file sizes is important. It's just kind of like what we were talking about with them new freaking quote unquote freaking servers that Mines is trying to give us. You know. Well,
it's like the existing Mines chat facility. That's got a limitation of 10 MB or MB, 10 megabytes.
Open them up.
Upload.
Open them up. Make it to where you can do freaking 400 gigs.
Yeah, that's resources, isn't it? Remember, storage comes at a price.
That's
Uh,
that's one reason
if you,
why Bashi, that freaking website or that VoIP she uses that I asked her about. That's the reason why I like that. I forgot the name of it. It starts with a G. You remember that? Gilded.
okay, okay, yeah.
I can.
Isn't that more to peer to peer then? So there's no centralized infrastructure. There's no centralized data center.
Yeah. But like on
Yeah.
there, I could literally upload a freaking 2-3 hour video on that VoIP, and I've never been able to do that even with Discord. I mean, any.
Technically, you're not offloading. You are sharing directly from your
No, I mean,
machine.
like
Okay,
this, like
your
this,
one infrastructure.
like this right here. I could record it, like I'm doing on OBS, and I can take this recording
Mhm.
and literally upload it straight to Gilded.
Okay, I'm not sure if it's technically uploading because it's more of a peer-to-peer infrastructure. So it's always on your machine, and then it gets cloned to other clients' machines.
Mm. I call it uploading. I mean, that's
Well,
you know what I mean.
yeah,
I hit upload
yeah.
and it goes 90%
It, it's
and
it,
100%.
it's not like storing it on a centralized data center, which is the traditional method.
Yeah,
And obviously, if you think every single person's uploading, I don't know, let's say a gig worth of information, and you've got 5,000 users,
yeah.
yeah, you can then see the complications there
The only reason why I
when it comes
backed
to
off on
resources and expenses.
the only reason why I backed off on that one was because it was kind of getting weird with that Gilded. Like I was getting the feeling that they were getting ready to shut down. I might go and recheck it out.
Okay.
But it's a shame because it actually it was a lot better quality than freaking even what Discord was. I thought it was a really great idea, and then I started going in and well, you know how like we have help and support on the chat. But they had it too, and I kept watching it, and they're talking about freaking shutting down programs and stuff.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Maybe financial issues. I don't know. Could be a number of things.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now that we've discussed that, do you have any more questions, Tan? Because if not, we should talk about you guys' big rivalry over AI. You guys
Well,
have
I don't
been
want to burst your bubble, but unfortunately, I haven't had time to prepare well organized presentation about this topic that I meant to do it, but we can go through a little bit of the definition of what we're talking about. AI, deep learning, generative AI, which is what the latest trend is, and the ability of the algorithm to reason, and I think that is basically what Mark's gripe was about the term AI being basically just recognizing pattern. I think it's a lot more into it than that.
yeah.
Uh,
I
but
agree. Now, the one thing whenever we're going through that deep learning is paradigms. Okay, now in the freaking the tech world, when they say the word paradigm, exactly what does that mean? What is a paradigm?
okay, wait. We gotta go bring up technical definition. Define what a paradigm is.
Right. You see.
More of a business talk thing, yeah.
Because like in deep learning, that's one of their big things. Like the computer literally can change from one paradigm to another paradigm. It's like if you ask a computer,
All right. Should I share my screen or are you going to?
you can share it. Let me see what we got here. There we go.
Paradigm comes from Greek paradigma, which means pattern, example, or sample. From the word paradigmai, exhibit, represent, or expose. Classical Greek rhetoric aims to provide the audience with an illustration of a similar occurrence. Illustration is not meant to take the audience to a conclusion, however, it is used to help guide them get there. One way of how a paradigma is meant to guide an audience would be exemplified by the role of a personal accountant. It is not a job of a personal accountant to tell the client exactly what or how to spend their money on, but to aid in guiding a client as to how money should be spent based on the client's financial goal. The original Greek term paradigma was used by scribes in Greek texts, such as Plato's dialogues, Timaeus, and Parmenides, as one possibility for the model or pattern that Demiurge supposedly used to create cosmos. English language term paradigm has technical meaning in the fields of grammar, as applied to what I don't know what that is, declension and conjugation. Merriam 1900, the Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines the technical use of paradigm only in the context of grammar and of rhetoric, as a term for an illustrative parable or fable. In linguistics, this person, Ferdinand de Saussure, used paradigm to refer to a class of elements with similarities, as opposed to a syntagma, which is a class of elements expression relationship. After all that, I still don't know what paradigm means. No. You guys.
The Webster Merriam down there, that one just underneath it. It says the online dictionary defines one usage of paradigm as a philosophical and theoretical framework of a scientific school or discipline within which theories, laws, and generalizations, and that right there is exactly what Mark was talking about.
It sounds that's more familiar. It's a discipline. It's a kind of discipline, right?
Yeah.
Form of rhetoric. Yeah.
Oh, framework.
Yeah. Where were you reading? Here I'm reading this. Thomas Kuhn's 1962 work, Structure of Scientific Revolutions. Kuhn suggests that certain scientific works, such as Newton's Principia or John Dalton's New System of Chemical Philosophy, provides an open-ended resource or framework of concepts, results, and procedures within which subsequent work is structured. Normal science proceeds within such a framework or paradigm. So, paradigm is like a framework. A foundation from which further scientific work is developed upon. Paradigm does not impose a rigid or mechanical approach, but can be taken more or less creatively and flexibly. What is an example of a paradigm?
Now, that would explain why Mark has a hard time with it, though, because, like, you know what I mean?
So many different.
It's not. It doesn't have a rigid approach to it, you know.
I just consider the word paradigm related.
An example of a currently accepted paradigm would be in the standard model of physics. Scientific method allows for orthodox scientific investigation into phenomena that might contradict or disprove the standard model. However, granting However, grant funding would be proportionally more difficult to obtain for such experiments, depending on the degree of deviation from the accepted standard model theory the experiment would test for. So to illustrate the point, an experiment to test for the mass of neutrinos or the decay of protons, small departure from the model, is more likely to receive money than experiment that would look for the violation of the conservation of momentum or ways to engineer reverse time travel.
Oh, wow.
So the standard model is a paradigm, right? So somebody's trying to research for something that would refute that model would be like a paradigm shift, wouldn't it?
Yeah. That's what they were talking about in deep learning is you would basically shift from one paradigm to another, the computer would.
Okay, so with that, that's I got a few research things I got in my tabs here that we can go through. First of all, what is a neural network? Because the whole thing behind AI and deep learning and generative artificial intelligence is the model that the model that mimics the behavior of our human brain. That's what they call it, the neural network, right?
Right.
So let me just see. Just so this is an article I pulled up from MIT from 2017. It's called Neural Networks Explained. I'm not going to go through every detail, but just check it out. Just read out the parts that are interesting to us. Deep learning is in fact a new name for an approach to artificial intelligence called neural networks, which have been going on in and out of fashion for more than 70 years. Neural networks were first proposed in 1944 by Warren McCullough and Walter Pitts, two University of Chicago researchers who moved to MIT in 1952 as founding members of what's sometimes called as the first cognitive science department. Neural nets were a major area of research in both neuroscience and computer science until 1969, when, according to computer science lore, they were killed off by MIT mathematicians Marvin Minsky and Senior Papert, who a year later would become co-directors of the new MIT Artificial Intelligence Laboratory. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, that is.
The technique then enjoyed a resurgence in 1980s, fell into an eclipse again in the first decades of the new century, and has returned like gangbusters in the second, fueled by largely by the increase in processing powers of graphics chips.
And you know that it keeps sounding more and more like down the rabbit hole. Have you ever? I think we talked about that before about the gaming where these computer programmers were trying to create a chess game that could freaking beat a human, and they actually ended up being broke. Like their entire career went to waste. And the reason why is because they focused on this computer program that could beat a chess player. And I guess they actually even had a tournament between the computer that they created and like the world chess champion.
Yeah.
What's a big blue?
Big Blue, yeah.
It sounds so much. Sorry.
Which is
Not Big Blue, Deep Blue.
for things like Stockfish. Yeah. Which is is used for as the basis for things like the Stockfish engine and Crafty engine. Me and Tom knows quite a lot about.
We're using the Stockfish engine a lot on light chess. There's this idea that ideas in science are a bit like epidemics of viruses, says this Tommaso Poggio. the Eugene McDermott Professor of Brain and Cognitive Science at MIT, an investigator at MIT's McGovern Institute for Brain Research, the director of MIT's Center for Brains, Minds, and Machines. And he said there are apparently 5 or 6 basic strains of flu virus, and apparently each one comes back with a period of around 25 years. People get infected and they develop an immune response, and so they don't get infected in the next 25 years. Then there's a new generation that is ready to be infected by the same strain of virus. In science, people fall in love with an idea, get excited about it, and hammer it to death, and then get immunized. Then they get tired of it. So the idea should be the same kind of periodicity. He's saying this AI thing is. I think he's in league with what Mark's thinking.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's a fad type thing. Yeah.
Okay, so we've presented you. We've presented you with good evidence here, Mark. What's your take on it?
Well, again, notwithstanding the sort of marketing process, the marketing stuff that we see being pushed a lot at the moment, the sort of pattern recognition stuff that is played off as artificial intelligence, a lot of it is just a fad at the moment. I mean, we're not going to have machines conquer the world anytime soon. We aren't going to go down that sort of
we don't have to worry about AI killing off all the rest of us and just take over the world for themselves, right?
Well, I mean, you guys think that's
Skynet,
cool.
Skynet is not going to happen anytime soon.
Right.
You guys think that's like good news and shit. I don't think that's cool at all. I think freaking it would. I rooted for freaking the Terminator.
You what?
I rooted for the Terminator. I wanted to
you rooted for it.
Yeah, I wanted to see.
Crazy man.
I wanted to see the robot win, dude. Freaking.
That'll be the end of you.
Now,
or you become a slave to the machine.
Now, whenever you were talking about that though, the one thing that stuck out to me, Mark, was like here lately I've been playing around with this shit, okay, and like there's more than what you're just saying there. Like today I freaking put freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger in my video. Freaking his body was like freaking Dorothy off of The Wizard of Oz, and he was singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Right. So you mean like it's a deep fake?
Yeah, I mean it's a video of Dorothy's body with Arnold Schwarzenegger's face and his voice singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Is that
if you find that video, bring it up and show it on the screen.
I mean, you can get parrots and minor birds to mimic vocal expressions, but I wouldn't call that intelligence.
Well, I mean...
Yeah, so, guys, I brought this video, this article up as a hat tip to Mark, right, to support his view, but keep in mind that, this article is in 2017, and progress has been made leaps and bounds since then.
Yeah, but the basic fundamentals, are still the same. There isn't been a massive leap in basic principles.
We have skeptics, yeah. Wait, I want to read this. I think this looks interesting. In the 1980s, researchers have developed algorithms. Wait a minute. In the 1980s, however, researchers had developed algorithms for modifying neural nets weights and thresholds that were efficient enough for networks with more than one layer. One layer. We have networks with millions of layers now. Okay, we're gonna go into those in the other tabs that I have open there, and we're gonna go into it.
Yeah.
Efficient enough for networks with more than one layer, removing the many limitations identified by Minsky and Papert. The field enjoyed a renaissance. Okay, all right, maybe that is the genesis of what we have now, which is neural network, large language models with millions of layers, which is what the GPT-4 and a bunch of other models are out there right now.
There's also, there is also another point you have to consider. When you say intelligence, you are talking about a sort of logical intelligence. If you do A and B, if let's say
it's the ability to do logical inference.
But there are other forms of intelligence, such as emotional intelligence.
Oh no. I don't think they're talking about emotional intelligence. Yeah, you're right. There are different types of intelligence. I think these are talking about rational intelligence, the ability to reason, right, logically. So to make inference, basically, at the very simplest, you have what is it? Okay, so it's like if A then B, and if A then B and if B then C, then you can infer that if A is satisfied, then C is also follows, right?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of logic, right? But you have many layers.
Procedural programming.
Procedural
programming.
It's called logic, basically.
Logic. So in a sort of IT, in a computer sort of world, but set of procedures. So if A equals B, go to this line. If it doesn't, then go to this line.
But no. I mean, I'm saying, So the ability to reason, but with generative AI, it's basically constructing its own algorithm, kind of thing, as it goes along. So you mean if you have a condition that says A, if A is true, then B is true. And if B is true, then C is true. And then you have a condition that says A is true. So, from that, therefore, C must be true as well, right? And then you have complicated layers of that nested predicate. So, and then to be able to reason using all those complicated conditions requires computing powers, right? Which we now sort of have the ability to do cheaply now compared to like 40 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Let's watch Roger's Arnold song.
Well, I mean, I can't share it for the sake of me, but I can you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna freaking show it up on the stream, but
why not, man? Okay, send the link to me. I will share it on mine.
This is actually copyright issues there.
This is actually.
I see.
This is.
Is a copyright thing?
Legal implications.
Well, this is.
Is it not on YouTube?
This is actually taken on here. I can do it. I just don't think you're going to hear the voice. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
And you guys won't be able to see the video.
Oh, wait a minute. You're playing it from your media player.
Yeah.
Is it an MP3, MP4 file?
Hold on a minute. Let me see. Yeah.
Drop it onto your browser. It'll play from the browser player, and then you can share the audio.
Hold on a minute. That's actually a good idea. Never even thought about that before. All this new technology, all this AI stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
stuff's
yeah.
messing with our
Hey.
head.
All this good stuff. Boy, oh boy, you gotta love America. Oh wow, that's not
No
good.
comment there.
We're not Americans, man.
he's upset. That's all. Oh man, come on, seriously.
What happened?
I keep trying to do it onto the browser and it won't take it.
Oh, you do a file open from the browser. Try a file open from the browser
There we go.
instead of dropping them.
Okay.
Isn't it a place you can get to by a boat or a train?
Is it coming up?
Yeah.
Is far, far away,
Not seeing it yet.
behind the moon, beyond the rain.
Alright, hold on.
So
Let me see if I can screen share this
Mm-hmm.
and we should be able to do it, hopefully. This is actually pretty good. I'll chance it, see what happens. Okay. Let me screen share.
Are you sure you can't find it off of YouTube, man?
Switch screen window. Well, I mean, can you see it?
Yep.
Okay, so let me go back on here.
Yeah, so it's working. Man.
Give it a second, it has to kick in. See if you can hear it.
isn't it a place you can get to by a boat or a train?
Can you hear
No,
it?
are you sharing the tab audio?
Is far, far away, behind the moon, beyond the rain. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby.
Not hearing the audio yet.
Somewhere over the rainbow, bees fly, booms fly over the rainbow. Why then?
Okay, I get the
Oh,
point. I get the point.
why
But
Yeah. It's pretty good.
can't
I mean, but this is
I
this is
still
deep,
want to call
this is
that intelligence.
this is
it's
deep
called
fake.
graphic. Yeah, but it's not. It's not where no sort of form of intelligence.
But look at that. Okay, like I couldn't do that on Blender.
You mean, but I think the point is the danger or the scariness of
Yeah, I think.
generative AI, right?
Yeah, I think that really
you can,
does.
But it's
you can fake somebody else in real life and potentially ruin their reputation.
yeah, but again, I have a difficulty actually calling it some sort of intelligence.
Yeah.
Um,
I honestly don't think that would offend Arnold Schwarzenegger though. That's kind of the shit he's into. He's a weird fucking
Yeah.
person, dude. He really is. Like I don't think he'd be offended by
Yeah.
that at all, to be honest. No.
Yeah, but didn't you bring up like there was one person from the Minds thing that got somebody like deep faked them their video
what we
from the
want.
Minds path. from the Minds Fest.
Okay, that's possibly
Oh,
a
no, it was the chick.
violation of the.
It was the chick that was on the Minds Fest. She was
Yeah.
she played on The Sopranos.
Right.
Oh, okay, yeah, you remember you saying that, so.
And they actually had another woman that I was talking about, the blonde chick, that just recently had to go through there, and that's what brought it up. And she had the problem, but then like 2 weeks before that, 2 or 3 weeks before that, I heard it on Minds Fest. That chick off The Sopranos said that she was approached by these people, and they asked her if it was okay to use her likeness, and she said no, and they still went ahead and used her likeness.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot the name.
You use her likeness for what though?
For whatever they wanted to do. If you want her to be a naked hot chick, frickin' she'll be a naked hot chick.
Really, the reason is irrelevant. So there was a much more moral, ethical issue there.
So, like,
Okay, let's go through what this generative AI is, right? That we were talking about. So basically, that video you were just showing with the ability to generate audio, video, or a composite video that fakes somebody else, or fake somebody's head and put it in some other people's head and make their mouth move in synchronized with the music. Is what generative AI is about. So let's see what this definition is. Are you showing the screen on your
yeah,
screen?
it's coming through.
Yeah. Okay. What is generative AI? So this is the article on Amazon AWS website. Generative artificial intelligence, also known as generative AI, is a type of AI that can generate new content and ideas, including conversations, stories, images, videos, and music. AI technologies attempt to mimic human intelligence in non-traditional computing tasks like image recognition, natural language processing, and translation. Generative AI is the next step in artificial intelligence. And you can train it to learn human language, programming languages, art, chemistry, biology, or any complex subject matter. It reuses training data to solve new problems. For example, it can learn English vocabulary and create poems from words it processes.
Mm-hmm.
Your organization can use generative AI for various purposes like chatbot, media creation, product development. Yeah. We have some, like GitHub has new Copilot thing that can assist you generate code.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got AI code assist now that is built into the IDE that you can just get it for help.
I know. Mine's Gaming and Bob Dub are doing the freaking poems and everything. They've been going over that.
Yeah. Are they using AI?
Yep. They're using AI generated images to go with them too.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I mean, but
why is generative AI important? Generative AI applications like ChatGPT have captured widespread attention and imagination. They help reinvent most customer experience and applications, create new applications never seen before, and help customer reach new productivity levels. According to Goldman Sachs, generative AI could drive a 7% or almost $7 trillion increase in global gross domestic product. They also anticipate it could lift productivity growth by whopping 1.5% over 10 years.
mm-hmm. And that goes back to what Mark was saying. Like I do agree with him on a certain amount, because like with this SEO, okay, the SEO is gonna skyrocket because of the freaking algorithms and everything that they have to pull to freaking pull up this information, because they're gonna be pulling it from different locations. This AI is, and they're going to do it they're going to do it way faster than we can.
There was an element talking about music and poetry. Sure. Again, going back to my previous point, you can have some software string a load of notes together and words together to produce some product. To the listener speak about this is some person, but it doesn't have to be sort of again human emotional intelligence. I mean, I can read a extremely long, boring book about I don't know about any subject that lacks any sort of emotional intelligence in that.
See, I've heard
Yeah,
stories about that too, though. There's a guy, he's a real, he's a famous gamer, actually, and he's made it his lifelong project to create a girlfriend, a robot girlfriend. He has her freaking sitting around the house all the time, and that's his main goal. He wants to give her, like, emotions and be able to sit down and actually have conversations. He's actually had reporters come into his place and interview the frickin' robot.
right. Oh, yeah. Like was it is it a Turing test that tests whether
Yeah.
somebody or some program can qualify as a human being, right? Where you go and you have one actual person behind the screen answer your questions, and then in another instance, you have a program, a computer behind the screen answering your questions, and then from there, basically you will guess whether this person behind there answering your question is a human or a machine, right? And so. So, talking about intelligence, are you guys still seeing my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
7 types of intelligence. This is psychology, right? Linguistic, logical, bodily, spatial, musical, interpersonal, and intrapersonal. So, I mean, so a human person would possess all 7 of these characteristics, yeah?
Yeah.
And so, we're not talking with generative AI, we're not talking about, emotional intelligence and things like that. We're talking about logical, right? Mathematical,
Right.
and possibly linguistic intelligence. But then you have, that's the generative AI domain, a small part of AI, right? And then you have robots who are, you've seen the videos from what's that name? What's that robot company that have developed robotic technologies of a robot who are mimicking human-like motions, right? Boston Dynamics is the company, I think. That they've.
But you said that you just said that you said mimic him, not actually have him.
Yeah. I mean, it's a robot. In the end, it's a robot, right? It doesn't have a human heart. It doesn't have blood. It's a robot. It's a machine. So of course that's mimicking, but they're mimicking it with like almost human-like qualities, right? Like the fluidness of their movement. Let me see. Boston Dynamics.
And
I'm glad you said almost. I think the key word there is almost.
And see, you should be getting excited about robots, man. Whenever people frickin' start talking about robots and artificial intelligence, you know what that means, don't you?
What?
Skynet.
Like Skynet?
No, that's like sex bots, dude. You know that's
you head over back outside, please.
You know that's going to be the first thing that comes into play once they start freaking coming out with this artificial intelligence.
Yeah, man, those guys.
You know it will be.
Unfortunately, I think you could well be right.
Okay, here.
Okay.
It's gonna be the first thing that hits the road, man. I mean, solid
Audio?
and in your face. It's gonna be a freaking hot robot chick, and that's gonna
Can you guys hear the audio of the video I'm playing?
no.
and then that's the end of humanity.
Well, the sex rate or the birth rates are already going down. Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's not a. There was another one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here. Oh, Atlas. Was this? You guys can't hear the audio?
Nope.
No.
I'm still
Let me
seeing
reshare.
your AWS screen.
Oh, I see. I gotta stop and reshare then. I guess.
Yeah. There you go. Now pop it back up and see what it does.
Alright, you see this?
Yeah. See, I've seen this one.
Okay,
This-
so we
yeah.
look at what coordination. Coordination.
Yes, coordination, yes.
No,
This is computer vision and also motion, right?
actually,
Right, so
is
they-
that an actual? I've seen a couple of these things that are actually claim to be actual real things, but they were in effect
Well, this-
just
this-
computer
This
animations.
is officially from the Boston Dynamics YouTube channel, so
Okay,
uh,
yeah, I'm not gonna
I've
say that.
actually seen those in the past.
I've seen some fraudulent claims.
Now, see,
yeah,
the thing about it too is the drones. When they start incorporating the drones into it, that's when things are going to start hitting the fan, because it's going to be artificial intelligence, robotics,
Right.
and then
Skynet,
freaking
right?
drones. Now these drones, man, they've got freaking full-size cars that they were wanting to actually make into drones. Instead of us flying around and just flying regular vehicles, they're going to be drones that look like a car.
yeah.
And they-
Right.
Which raises a lot of legal and ethical issues.
Well, they're going to have artificial intelligence in it, like the Teslas.
Yes, but let's say a car knocks over a pedestrian.
I'm
Who's
just,
at fault here? The actual.
I'm not
pilot,
disagreeing with
the
you, man.
driver.
I'm not disagreeing
the
with you.
company, the software.
I mean, of course, it's going to be an issue because they're going to have artificial intelligence in there. You know what I mean? It's like you're not going to have to wear seatbelts because your computer's going to take care of you.
Are we getting to the stage? Are we getting to the stage where we can blame a piece of software for manslaughter or
Boss.
even murder?
Well, that's a movie. That's a
My
movie.
iRobot? We'll do that.
iRobot, yeah. And it was actually,
Yeah,
it had a good storyline, and it's a good question to ask. Who's responsible?
power
for
of
the-
five?
Actually, the book looked at this as the film itself was absolutely dire compared to the book. The book really explored this issue in much more depth.
Mhm. Well, it's true though. Think about it. Who would be held responsible for the death? I mean, can you really accuse the freaking robot of committing murder?
Well, the robot belongs to some human, right? They don't roam around autonomously.
Yes, but if you again the ownership question, do you actually own this equipment, or are you just licensing that equipment up from a provider? This is related to the entire right to repair argument. Do you own a piece of equipment, or are you just licensing that piece of equipment from a provider? Look at the phone industry at the moment. You've got Apple and Samsung saying you cannot repair your own equipment. You cannot install your own operating system on your own equipment. We will decide what you do with your equipment.
He's getting fired up. He's getting riled up. Did you see how he did that?
It raises the entire question of ownership as well.
Mark's pointing at the
So I
monitor and
mean,
shit.
well, if you release, it's still a piece of equipment, right? It's still a piece of machinery.
Yes, but who owns it?
Yeah. I mean, so if who owns it? If you're renting that equipment from somebody, then you have your.
I'm not saying renting. Consider
Leasing.
the old media argument. When you buy a DVD or a video or a computer game, you're not buying that piece of. You're not buying that object.
Yes,
You are
but
buying
software.
a license to use
No,
that.
no, but software is a peculiar part of properties, though, right? It's an immaterial. Whereas a robot is like a hardware, a piece of tangible thing that you hold.
Right.
Again, I go
Right.
back to
And when I buy a
argument.
teapot, a kettle, I don't buy the license to use the kettle. I own it, right?
Yes, but when you buy a let's say a mobile phone from let's say Samsung or Apple, you cannot legitimately install your own software on it. In fact, with recent Samsung devices, because of serialization, hardware won't work if you do that.
That is the impetus of the vendor that make the hardware, right? So Apple decided to do it that way, and then you have competitors that have gone the other way as well.
Now, I might be wrong here, but I think I know a perfect example of what you guys are talking about. But, like, if you really want to go back and you want to look at something to compare to what you're speaking about here, look at the VCR and the VCR tape. There's a reason why freaking they phased out the VCR tape. And the reason is because, like, today, if I had a VCR and I hooked it up and I played freaking the video and recorded it on this computer, there's no program on any computer that will detect the content that's on that videotape. Okay. Now they wanted to phase the VCR tape out because they freaking wanted to come up with a program that can freaking track video on the computer and be able to freaking flag it and say it's copyright infringement.
Lewis Wasserman released the American Right to Repair Advocate released an interesting video, I think last week or week before, in relation to a company selling a piece of hardware. I think it was an inbuilt or a car. Was a car audio multimedia player type thing, and within the last year, a year after they sort of released the product, they said that they will the company will no longer provide the cloud service that will allow people to use the product. In this case, somebody goes out and buys, I don't know, a piece of hardware for 100 quid that is reliant on a specific online service, and then a year later, the service stops, and they find that the piece of equipment is no more than a doorstop.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. Now, I know they did that with those freaking cameras, those security cameras that you're supposed to buy on television, where you can just buy it and they'll send them to you in the mail. and you just put it up on your garage, and it'll watch your neighbor. It's supposed to have an app that's hooked up to your phone to where you can actually watch your house while you're away from home. And the app, the app.
We see more and more of this. Yeah, we will supply you with the hardware, but you must use our online services. We are not going to provide you with a firmware for that. We're not going to open source the firmware. And as soon as we decide, the company decide, we are no longer supported, you've got a nice solid object that you can, I don't know, throw in the bin.
Oh, that like those.
And another thing that amused me, he only released a Lewis Rossman only released a video. I think in the last couple of days, that talked about this company releasing a load of markets that's about being green and looking after the environment, and Wells provide still selling what is just a brick. No.
A brick.
Well, an object that has got that cannot serve any further purpose as soon as they stop the service.
Well, I know
that's very environmental friendly.
When you talk about stuff like that, though, it makes me remember these new circular vacuum cleaners that you buy you buy off the internet and everything, and you put it down on the floor, and it's supposed to clean your floor. Like, they have tons and tons of different freaking companies that do that, and they've actually had problems with the apps and stuff. So.
All right. I'm sharing something else from MIT. Mark was just talking about emotional intelligence. Well, we have something called emotion AI.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The sex bots.
That's right.
No.
As artificial intelligence learns to interpret and respond to human emotion, senior leaders should now consider it how it could change their industry and play critical role. What is this? Look, paradigm.
Oh, yeah.
It's a paradigm shift, man. Emotional intelligence.
Is it actually emotional intelligence, or is it just a buzzword that some marketing executive has just created?
No way. Well,
you heard what that just said, didn't you? It's freaking machine augmenting humans. That's what the paradigm is. Like, it changes
But we all know what these marketing executives come about. We must introduce this word into our material because it sounds good, it sounds great, and we sell a lot of things. And
I think it's
in
a
reality,
lot more.
that's not.
I think it's a lot more spookier than what you give it credit for, to be honest with you, because a lot of this stuff is what a lot of parapsychologists have been talking about for years. They believe that freaking we do have a relationship with the electronics that we have, like even with computers.
Let me read a little bit of this because I think it's interesting. What do you think of the last commercial you watched? Is it funny, confusing? Would you buy the product? You might not remember or know for certain how you felt, but increasingly machines do. New artificial intelligence technologies are learning and recognizing human emotions and using that knowledge to improve everything from marketing campaign to healthcare. These technologies are referred to as emotion AI. So it sounds very at the very surface. This is the ability to recognize emotion, right? Not the ability to feel emotion.
Right.
Maybe I'm
So
being a bit cynical here, but whenever the word emotion added to the word marketing, yeah,
no.
it,
I mean, read
it's
read uh,
this faithful.
read it again. So, video image recognition, right, is part of AI, right? Natural language recognition is, part of AI.
Mm,
And now we have emotional recognition. So the ability to detect the person's emotion is now a part of an AI research that they're doing, right? Well, next you have, so that's one
again,
part. So you just like speech
again,
recognizing is the first part of AI, and then they have the other part of speech synthesis, which is the ability to generate speech, right? Well, this is the one side of emotion AI. After this, they're gonna have the other part that is exhibiting emotion or simulating
again,
emotion
yeah.
as the other part of the equation, right?
Yes,
So
and the
Again, just goes back
speed.
to my point of is 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 intelligence just about mimicking? Um,
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
take a look at the speed in which that it can do it too. Like it's going to get to the point where they can simulate emotion so fast that you're not going to be able to tell if it's real or simulated.
Again, really, the point of speed is not really relevant. Things are just going to get faster and more powerful. That's just Moore's law, isn't it?
Well,
In fact,
thinking. Well, I mean, think of the implication of this in terms of lie detectors, right? uh, Detecting whether a witness is telling the truth or not. This thing is going to be able to detect the human emotion and from there recognize whether they're truthful or not.
remember, it's possible to fake an emotion, and this is the main argument where lie detectors has never been part of the British legal system because it's possible to. There's an element within the legal system. It is beyond all reasonable doubt innocence into proving guilty beyond all reasonable doubt,
Yeah.
and to be able to fake or to be able to um,
Fake.
fake
That's
removes
it.
that reason or produces a reasonable doubt.
Women fake it all the time.
I
It's
knew you were gonna go there.
In your
like
experience,
you're
in your
not really
experience,
throwing a good example up there. You know what I mean? It's like freaking we fake stuff all the time. When it comes to faking things, that makes them more human than freaking what they are machines. Simulating and pretending to be something that they're not. That's something that humans do on a regular basis. So
Yeah.
it goes beyond that. When you think of the construct, it's beyond pretending to be something. Okay, when they actually get to the point where they think they're humans,
Yeah.
that's when they become what you're talking about. You see what I mean? Where they actually cry for a reason. You know.
Is emotion AI something to welcome or worry about? So it's here.
not to worry about in our lifetime anyway. Lisa.
This guy Hernandez. What I tell companies, I think about what aspect of emotional intelligence should play its critical role in your business. If you were to have that emotional interaction, how would that change, and how can you use technology for that? Yeah, this is all business. This is the MIT School of Management for after all.
Yeah,
So
again, we are many years off. sort of this sort of thing. And also,
I would
even
use.
in corporations, I could argue, I could demonstrate people not having any emotions. They're just doing creating procedures and policies just out of a logical
Right.
point.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's not really something to stand on when it comes to artificial intelligence, because we do that stuff all the time. Like,
Yeah.
it's actually the opposite. When a machine can frickin' actually feel emotions, you know,
Yeah.
that's when I think you'd have to be worried about it. Like,
Yeah.
whenever they were talking right here. That's why
You've just said a word that I find interesting. You said feel emotions,
right
not simulate emotions, not mimic
when you
emotions,
feel
but
it.
feel emotions. And there's the entire question about what is a soul, what is a
It's artificial, man. It's it's so meaning it's not real. So it's artificial emotion.
If it happens,
they cannot feel. They can only simulate.
if it happens, it will become a danger. That's all I'm gonna say.
Why is it? Emotion is the thing that separates us from the animals, from the machines.
I wouldn't say. Well, even animals are separate from the machines. So,
Yeah.
as a living being, I would say that's what separates us from the machine. Now, when they start feeling emotions, which every animal has, then they go from being a freaking machine to an animal.
A sentient being rather than an animal.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
a creature, if you like.
But then
there is a distinction between creatures and animals.
You know,
a machine that is self-aware is
well, even
right. So,
even self-awareness. Look at the word self-awareness. That doesn't even go to that scope. Like, anything can be aware. Self-awareness is okay. I've got a freaking arm. I can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I think therefore I am. Yeah.
You know. So I mean, I think those words are a little bit. I mean, I hear them being said all the time too. Self-awareness, and it sells the whole. It's a cheap way of saying it. You know what I mean? Like it's
a philosophical term, right?
Well, philosophy is synthetic.
An entity is pathetic. You said?
No, synthetic.
Oh.
It's synthetic thought, and like science. Okay, science is synthetic too, where they can't tell you. Especially psychology. Psychology is it's sterile. Okay, it lacks the emotion. It lacks that kind of thing. Like the best thing they can tell you is like whenever you reach out to another person and you tell another person things that you're going through and they can relate to you. That's therapeutic. That's real. That's emotional. Whereas if you go into a psychologist, all they can do is give you a synthetic diagnosis for your problems. See what I mean?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. I'm thinking on the point of physical medicine, physical medical, where let's say you go to your GP, you go to your doctor and say, I've got a cold, and the doctor will diagnose that you pick up a virus, and ignores any sort of emotional reason why you have got a cold. Let's say because of a low
But
immune system that's caused by stress.
let me ask you this, Mark. Why do you need the machine to be exactly like humans, right? Because humans has
I'm not. I'm
flaws
not.
that
What I'm. It's the term that I have an issue with. How the term intelligence is being used at the moment to represent artificial intelligence. Um, it's a very broad concept, and I think the word intelligence in this context is being misused a lot of the time.
Now, for
well,
me,
what would you call it if it's not intelligence?
Again, mimicking,
Pseudo intelligence?
synthesizing, synchronizing. I think pseudo intelligence would be a much more than.
okay,
Yeah. I mean, it's just a term. You have to, you got to call it something.
Yeah, but
Uh,
terms come with meaning.
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
and and, and as we've
And
seen within sort of modern sort of political circles, terms are being rewritten, though the meanings of terms are being abused.
yep, yep. Yeah, I agree with that. And then I've seen some attempt of changing the meaning of some
Hmm.
classical term.
man, I should be paying more attention in
It goes back
chat.
to this goes back to the Orwellian sort of 1984 newspeak then, where some um, person out there will just redefine the term for their own purpose.
Okay, so Tiny Baby Kangaroo, which is Bob Dub, she mentioned in comments, she says, sorry she's late. She says, so why do things break like this? Because it always happens with computers. You get it all working, and then it all stops working on or one day or on the day, and then she said it's your point of view, like capitalism or socialism, basically. And
I'm not sure what she means. I mean, sure, things will always have a failure. May that be intentional or may that be just accidental. I mean, we all will get old. We all are going to die.
yeah,
The yeah.
well, computers fall apart and everything too. You know what I mean? That's kind of
Mhm.
but I think
Sometimes intentionally. I mean, the old sort of Apple, you could get the latest, greatest piece of hardware because this is not going to work any longer.
she's gotta get upgrades.
Argument.
Gotta get
Mm.
upgrades. Gotta go in and get upgrades to make your computer pretty, looking good. Kind of like how humans have to get hair
Or the
club for men and get some hair dye. You know, things like that. Stuff that humans do.
doesn't have to buy dye,
That's
but
what
yeah, you can see his
see.
point.
That's a point that I was trying to make earlier, and I know it might sound weird because it is, but parapsychologists have been saying this stuff for years. They've been saying that we have a relationship with our technology. Okay, and the more I read on it, the more I'm finding out they're right about it. It doesn't have to necessarily be in some mystical way, but we do have relationships with it. You know what I mean? we take and we set our computer over to the side, and then we put freaking pretty lights on it. We got this keyboard that's all lighting up like little freaking Christmas trees, you know. And then of course,
Yeah, I did I make a comment in the general's room? I think it was me and Mr. Robots the other day was talking about mice, and how I know you mentioned how I dislike the sort of RGB color sort of gaming sound.
and now they've gone from how many freaking buttons on a mouse? They got like 5 to 6 of them, I think now.
Yeah, I remember back in when there was only one button on the mouse.
Oh man!
You know, the Apple mouse used to have no button.
Yeah, the classic Apple II, I think Apple II mouse.
Well, I told you. I mean, I think it's a
Apple SE mouse.
I think it's a good idea still that freaking you sit down with me and let me help you do a tutorial on how to do keyboard commands. I think I think that would be.
Mark, the Linux guy, seems to be very familiar with keyboard shortcuts.
And today, these kids would eat it up, Mark. They would eat it up. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, dude, let me show you something. This is top secret, man."
I used to do that sort of thing when I was supporting in education. I've done a few classes myself about things like keyboard commands, how to create building checks in Word, Control-B, how to copy, Control-C, paste, Control-V. But yeah, I looked at Sam, you said that there's just a lot of Windows and Mac orientated, but a lot of these commands are now universal. I mean, I can, on my own Linux-based workstation, I can press Alt and Tab to swap between windows. I can press Control-C to copy content.
You want to hear something scary?
To paste.
You want to hear something scary?
Oh.
I just freaking went in and started using Visual Studios again, and guess what they've got on Visual Studios now? They've got
keyboard shortcuts?
They got an AI app for visuals.
Well, yeah. If you use GitHub plugin, it has Copilot.
No, I mean, yeah, it right there in Visual Studios for coding. Like Visual Studios C++. You can get an app put into your Visual Studios that's AI. So if you have a problem, you just...
That's fun. It depends on what you mean by
You mean like an extension, or?
It's an app. You can go ahead and click on it, and it adds it on to your freaking C+ or your Visual Studios, and say you're coding and you freaking can't find the right answer to what you need.
Yeah.
Just
it's an extension, but what is it? Which extension are you talking about? You want to share your screen?
I haven't got it popped up, but I guess I could.
I mean, funnily enough, within recent versions of Nextcloud, in the administration powers, they've got a new section called Artificial Intelligence, which relates to machine translation, so speech to text translation and text processing and image generation, which they're terming as artificial intelligence.
Alright.
Obviously, these need third-party software to have them perform. But
I can pop it. I can pop it up into a.
Yeah. We see it. I see it on the stream. I don't know.
You see it? Okay, so I don't know if they have it on there. Maybe they.
Okay, I can see the screen, but
You can't see the screen?
yeah.
Yeah, we can only see it from the stream.
Oh, Okay, let me go in here and see if I can pop it up there and screen share. Am I?
Mark, just go to his stream.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to share his whole screen.
All right. Can you see it?
Yeah. So this what's this?
Let me see if I can find it. It's a modern extension man.
Yeah. Okay. You're sharing. You're sharing it.
Let me get your face out of my way.
Yeah.
Net Aspire. No, that's not it.
Okay, we're seeing it.
First.
We're seeing your Visual Studio installer.
The installer?
Yeah, just the standard.
Yeah.
You're not seeing the browser?
Just the standard
No,
download.
we're seeing your Visual Studio installer.
The download install of the release notes.
Oh, okay. Hold up. Is that it?
Yep.
Okay.
Possibly, yep. The blog.
Visual Studio blog.
Visual Studio blog.
All right. So let me see if I can find a search option. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, here it is.
Make sure it shows up on your stream.
AI. I'll just type AI in there and see what I get. Okay, Visual Live Studio, HQ 2024, August the 5th through the 9th. Oh no, this is just a roundup.
AI powered rename suggestion. No.
Naming made easy. AI powered rename suggestions.
Rename. Come on.
Okay, maximum joy and minimize toil with great development.
No.
That's not it.
Is there a filter?
Here it is. Here it is. Visual Studios 2022 1710 and GitHub Capilot. Your coding partner for fast.
That's the Copilot I'm talking about.
Yep, that's it. So if you're like,
is that it?
An integration of Copilot.
Today, as we kick off the Build 2024 conference, we're thrilled to share the general availability of Visual Studio 2020 1710. This release features a new single GitHub Copilot extension, making a significant leap forward in AI-assisted development by embedding the power of advanced AI directly into strategic parts of your integrated blah blah blah.
You should install it.
Okay, that's a load of marketing speak. That's a load of marketing.
Well, I mean, yeah, you should install it.
Please translate that into English now.
Now, do you understand?
No, but
do you understand the implications here, though, Mark? That means every idiot on the face of the planet. Every idiot on the face of the planet is going to be able to freaking code, dude. Did you just hear that?
I mean, yeah. It's leveraging the huge code repository of GitHub, code sample, code snippets on there, and it's basically using that as the knowledge base to create code suggestions for you.
Take over the world.
You can probably, just like ChatGPT, you can ask ChatGPT to write a program for you to do stuff.
Well, I mean, if you're going to take over the world,
this is pattern recognition.
No, not just pattern recognition, Mark. It's basically able to create new code. It's not just using samples, right? It's able to use that sample and extrapolate from that to create completely brand new code. That is not what the basic. You
gotta remember, this is computer's language. Like, this should be the first language they learn before they learn how to speak your language. You understand? Like, it's actually their language.
Sorry. When you say language, all I'm saying is business speak. What they've got to enable to use
You know,
90s
yeah,
business tools.
Age of the
Yeah.
freaking Terminator, dude. Rise of the Terminator. That's what it is. Freaking, they're gonna.
it's basically generic AI on code. So
Yeah.
you take AI and you tell it to generate an image of a hot Vietnamese chick, and it
That's what freaking Robot did for us.
that's what keep me up at night. Yeah, yeah.
Robot did that for us, remember?
And it'll create a new image that virtually doesn't exist in real life, and it'll have all those features that you're talking about. So it's not copying an existing person, a photo of an existing person in real life, but it's using those features.
So it's taking elements of various, let's say, image photos there, and then matching them up in a logical sequence, knowing that humans have 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, and mouth.
Right.
They all look like
those
Barbies.
And generate. So you have those basic features of what a certain characteristic of a Asian face look like, but then you add millions of permutation and you generate a whole bunch of possible Asian images that doesn't exist in real life.
Yeah.
So but possibly in some millions years from now, somebody will be born with that facial features. But it's just using the power of math to generate a completely non-existent person.
You see, that's the thing right there. That goes into a whole different category right there. That's not even generating off of photos and pulling stuff off of SEO. You know what I mean? That's code actually creating. So that means freaking Rise of the freaking Terminator is closer than you think.
In general, I think about a week ago, wasn't I talking about self-replicating software?
Do you remember? You remember an old sci-fi movie that was out called Screamers?
Right now we have self-healing software, right? Self-generating software is next.
Did you guys?
Software can update itself with fixes and things like that. Anyway, Roger, your point.
Do you remember an old sci-fi movie that came out back in the 80s called Screamers?
Just barely.
They were on a planet and freaking they had these robots that freaking were attacking humans and killing them because they turned against them. And instead of freaking them needing humans to repair themselves, freaking what happened was the main computer system freaking started creating their own freaking prodigies, their own children.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that the basis of the Matrix trilogy?
Pretty much, yeah.
No.
Wait, no.
Matrix is human cloning, not robots generating itself.
And humans.
Oh, no, robots were cloning humans, just using the humans as a
power
energy
source.
resource.
Right. Battery. So I think we better end it there before you guys start talking about any kind of crazy stuff, because I think we are hitting the boundaries of reality.
We will never be done with this topic. It's vast.
Yeah, and we'll come back. We'll come back once you guys dig up some more evidence, because you two freaking were on fire after the last episode. So I know you got stuff burning inside of your brains right now.
Yeah.
You're just upset, aren't you, that you didn't bring your stuff with you, aren't you, Tan?
Yep. Well, I mean, I don't have the stuff yet. I haven't had time to prepare. But I mean, I think we've shown some good material from just various articles.
And what you, I mean, you've had a good presentation just without having to like do a presentation. You did a really
Yeah.
good job. Both of you did. And I like I said, I cheered for
Yeah, it's opened up a lot of things.
I cheered for the Terminator.
Right.
So, and
Yep.
the Terminator and
Yeah,
freaking
you cheer for the end of humanity. So the
Terminator
end of
and
our
sex bots.
civilization.
That's right.
Terminator and
Yeah,
sex bots.
we always need to think about the practical use of AI, right?
That's right.
Porn.
Well, porn is like the stepping stone. After porn, it evolves into something crazier. Assassin sex bot.
Yes, yes, or what do you call it? Assassin sex kittens.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, that's the case concept. Yeah.
So, you guys have any last words you want to say before we end this?
Nope.
No, my brain's just gone.
Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream, and then thank you guys for being here. And next week we will meet again and talk a little bit more. Hopefully we'll have some more stuff on AI. If not, we'll have something good. So with that,
Yep.
talk to you later.
Talk to you guys. See you next week.
All right. That was pretty good. I'll see you later.
Yeah, I'll speak to you later.